All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to Brand Chain Chats, where we take a few minutes to get to know all the rock stars of our industry and dive into some of the hottest topics that get us up and running each day. I'm Brian Gill, the Chief Experience Officer at Thumbprint, and I'm joined here today by my friend Lisa Greyhill from Firebrand Global Marketing. Hey, Lisa, thanks for joining us.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, man. Well, as you just found out, this is only 10 minutes and not a full day live stream, so we're going to dive right in. So a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you got started.
Well, Firebrand is actually a new name. I started the company in 2005 under a different name. We rebranded in kind of like 2017 to 2019. It took forever to get through all the wormholes that all your logos and names go into. So
fun process.
Yeah, it is. Don't do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're just really excited to be in the industry. I came from a totally different world before this.
Awesome. Well, so you run a small distributorship, and you've, I guess, taught yourself cybersecurity. Is that true? And kind of best practices? And if so, please, educate us. What does that look like? And what have you learned along the way?
Yeah. So this wasn't something that I voluntarily did. Just because, you're busy running your business and you don't really think about it. I think that's probably true of a lot of people in our industry. But
of course,
we had a client who reached out to us and literally said in a letter, you need to pass this audit or we will immediately cease doing business with you. And I was like, okay. So we went through, I have had a web guy or a networking guy for all the years that I've been in business. And he's brilliant, but we went through the audit together. And then a couple of weeks later, we kind of got okay, you didn't answer these questions fully, go back and do it again. Mm-hmm. And that's really we just kept doing this reiterative process with them to get to the point where they needed us to be. And it was very funny because they wouldn't tell us where they needed us to be. So in promo, you get that client who's like, I'm looking for something. And then you have to figure out what they're looking for. So,
of course, yeah.
So that was kind of how we ended up going through it. But it's been quite a journey. I mean, it's kind of not for the faint of heart if you're not.
But you have to be all in, right? This isn't something that you can just kind of one foot in, 1 foot out. So did you kind of take that approach? Were you all in on this? I'm going to become an expert in this for my business and for my clients, or did you have a team internally that helped you?
I still talk to other people in the industry, and I think they're 100 times smarter than I am related to cybersecurity. But we did go all in. We couldn't just do oh, well, we're going to, institute MFA and everybody's going to, have two-factor authentication or whatever. That was just this much of it. We had to segregate a server and update, our Wi-Fi. And so, now we have Comcast, Elite, whatever, and Microsoft 365 business, whatever, so each one of those provided layers of security for us.
Layers of security. Mm-hmm. Were you met with resistance from your team, or were they open? Because you got to be open to change, and it is going to change a little bit of their day-to-day, I would assume, or no? What kind of impact did this have on your employees?
So far, they're not too heavily impacted. One of the things that we noticed in our industry is that a lot of the suppliers will have really a single sign-on, so company A gets one sign-on. They're not set up to have all of these different people from the same company.
Gotcha.
Going into the same. So, I ended up, I was kind of lamenting my problem of not knowing enough one evening with a guy that I used to climb mountains with. And he's like, well, that's what I do. And I was like, I probably knew that years ago, but no, I didn't. It wasn't even on my radar. And he was really integral to introducing me to people that I needed to know. And a lot of companies who do these cybersecurity audits and preparations are looking at big companies. They're not looking at companies my size. They want to have
correct.
And so 100 seats is far from where we are.
Correct. Yeah.
And I would probably say that's true of a lot of companies in our, like, what, 95% of the companies in our industry, even suppliers, they might have thousands of employees, but they don't have thousands of employees signing on to their computer system. They're in the warehouse.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Not everybody has access. Did you keep the client? We got to know that. Like, we got to get right to the spoiler alert. Do you have the client? We got the client. Okay. All right. Kudos.
Yes.
Kudos.
Yeah. But there was things that like we just didn't even know, like external penetration tests or the NIST CSF audit, like all of these things are things that have to be done by larger corporations. And
I don't know any of those things you just said, Lisa. I have no idea. It's like a foreign language, which I think is why everyone's so scared to get started, right? Like, we're all so busy in what we already know. The idea of tackling something that's daunting and foreign to us is just like, there's no way. I don't have the team in place for that. I don't have the time. I mean, I have the money or the resources. Like, did any of that come into play? Were those thoughts you had as well, like when you started this journey? Or
all of those things? Yeah. My guy that I've been working with, Stefan, is wonderful, as I said. But I mean, he had to learn a whole bunch of new stuff as well, because he works with a ton of small businesses, but nobody that's ever had this level of cybersecurity. So he and I did a lot of education together through the process. But I think, I'm actually on the PPAI certification committee, and I think this is like a good course to add, even if it's just kind of intro to cybersecurity, because
agreed,
there's so much.
Is cybersecurity something that you would say kind of needs to take the approach of like progress over perfection? Like, just get started, be better in 3 months than you were before, knowing that it's a living, breathing thing, right? As cyber attacks change, right, your security is going to have to change. So really, just get started, because you're going to be working on it forever, right? You're never done. It's never complete, I don't believe. Am I wrong?
No, you're exactly right. And so here's the other thing, like people, again, our industry has a ton of small businesses, right? And everybody's like, nobody's going to target me for ransom,
That's what we think. Yeah.
But the problem is that they do. And once a company has been targeted, they're on the dark web as like an easy target. So others likely go back and, see if they can ping your site and figure a way in. And so, you hear about these big mega ransoms, millions of dollars, but I mean, they're also out there, just getting 10,000 here, 10,000 there, because you're in a
of course.
So,
of course.
I actually have been blessed also by one of the companies that has done this NIST CSF assessment. They assigned this woman to us who has been like walking us through all of the phases of this enormous assessment and kind of helping us put in that under layer so that as we grow, we've got a solid platform to be on.
Got it.
I think that's going to be the real value for us.
So that foundation. I mean, so if I probably need to look into this. So, and if I need to look into this, I'm sure there's 1,000 other people that need to look into this. Like, where should I start? Like, what resources can you give me to at least get me started and to get me some insight into like what I need to do first?
Yeah. So, I think made my first kind of good big leap was through the Small Business Administrations. They had a cybersecurity kind of web conference.
Okay.
And that was interesting, and those people were all like super smart. But the chat box alone, like people were like, "Oh, I don't know about this," and somebody would be like, "Hey, have you tried Red Leg?" And so that was where I started to at least get some resources, like a good pool of them. So
yeah.
And then there's another one that is the National Cybersecurity Society. And I'll share with you the link to that. And they do have like a small business approach. So people, again, more people like us can
Yeah, it needs to be focused. Yeah, I think we want it to be focused on us, right? We're thinking of the larger organizations that are going to be targeted, but the truth of the matter is we are targets, and we need to be, we need to educate ourselves to protect our team members, our customers, right? Our supplier partners. So yeah, whatever you can share with us, we'd love to share with the community so that they can get started on this journey. As fun as cybersecurity is there anything that you're working on that you're excited about outside of that world that that Firebrand is looking to launch this year that we can be on the lookout for?
Yes, it's not like a public launch in the sense that it's going to impress everybody, but we've been.
It is now, Lisa. The world is going to know right now, and we're all going to be looking for it. So what is it? Tell us. We got to know.
We created a gift box for clients last year. We created a theme called Blazing Through Time with our little logo there.
I love it. Well played.
So last year we did a theme based on the 1980s, and it was a ton of fun. The cover letter was kind of done in the Star Wars scroll look.
I love it.
A bunch of 80s stuff. And this year we're doing the 70s. So we're using like refreshed glass with their, repurposed wine bottles. And oh my gosh, I just forgot the name of the company, but they take records and make them into coasters.
Yep. I seen it. Why am I forgetting the name of them? I know I saw them in Vegas. We'll give them a shout out we'll get you on LinkedIn. Promise. Really cool record brand. That's our fault. We'll get that. We'll fix that later, Lisa. Editing. Will this be shared on social? Will we be able to get a sneak peek of this at some point in the future?
Yes. Yeah. As soon as we launch it, like the 80s, we did a little post, and actually with the 80s, we included a QR code to a list of our favorite music for the 80s. So we might do something.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. Well, I can't wait for the Lisa Greyhill Spotify playlist. I'll be all over that. Lisa, where can people connect with you?
Well, they can always reach us at our website, firebrandpromos.com. And if you're in the Chicago area, I'm on the PPA Chicago board. You can always find me at a meeting or an event. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you for your time. Really appreciate it. It's a topic that everybody needs to make time for, no matter how daunting it may seem. So Lisa, thanks for encouraging all of us to get started. Congrats on the rebrand. Love what you're doing up there, and we'll be on the lookout for this cool theme box sometime later in 2023.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks so much. This was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. All right, gang. Well, thanks for your time, and we'll see you next month. See ya.
Take care.